Chat room, what it do, man. Give me just a second, chat. Let me get the music and everything else going. You know, you already know. Y'all know the drill. All right, chat. I think we all good. What's up, Treading? How you doing? Tempest, what's up? Sharpshooter? More guy fin for her summon? Hey, nice, dude. I'm glad. Watching OP's waifu tier list? Dude, that was so long ago. Dude, that was like years ago, man. Holy. That's crazy. What's up, Hunter? How you doing, man? Day's been going pretty good so far. I've just been chilling for the most part. Hold on. Put my phone up. But not my phone, my controller. I don't know why I said my phone. But I've just been chilling for the most part, man. Recorded the Should You Summon today. I'm probably gonna chop that up later, just so that can be all ready, and then tomorrow I'm gonna have it all uploaded for y'all for Orville. I will say, unfortunately, chat, I would not be able to do a summon video on Orville the day he comes out. So like Friday morning or like Friday day, I'm not gonna be able to record, and I probably won't be able to make a video on Orville, like a showcase or a summon video, till next week. More than likely. The reason for that is because I work on the weekends. Like I work Friday through Sunday, and I work 12-hour shifts, so I'm not going to be able to squeeze in like any time to be able to make that. But you know, next week I got y'all. Doing pretty good, Turbo. How about yourself? Am I going to get his SP art? Maybe. It depends. It just depends. Today's maintenance? No, tomorrow is maintenance. Right. It's the 29th, isn't it? It's not the 28th. Let me see. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Yeah, 29th. Yeah, it's tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to get the SP, though. If I get them, I mean, I might. But if I don't get them, I mean, I'm not going to buy it till I get them. But if I get them, it's very likely I'll get it. Very likely. But yeah. Are you making a series with the JP account? Yes, I am. The JP account is still happening. It's just been very crazy recently, man. Like, this entire weekend with... around where I live, it's just been crazy with like the weather and stuff, because I thought that I was going to be working this entire weekend, but I didn't. I literally didn't work at all, and I was snowed in, and I was like, man, dude, what the heck? And I didn't feel like doing anything. All my motivation was almost killed. I was like, man, I was so ready to, you know, get at it and everything at work, and I was on like a good roll, and then the snow came in. I was like, crap. So I made a few videos, you know, over the weekend and earlier this week, but yeah, I'm still going to be doing the JP grind. It's just, I'll probably start back on that maybe next week, but I'm making good progress. I think I've almost beat up to chapter 14, I think, on JP, or 15. It's one of the two. So yeah, I will say auto advance is the unsung hero. I will say that, man. Dude, auto advance and like auto looping, so good for new accounts, especially somebody who's already played the game before, and you don't really have that, what do you want to say, that sparkle, right? Like you're not in that daze of like, oh my god, it's so good, it's so good. You know, whenever I go through it, I'm like, holy fuck, man, just can it be over already? Can I already have what I need? So I'm really glad that the auto advance feature is even a thing, because man, dude, If it wasn't, I would be struggling. I wouldn't even be as far as I am right now. We've all been playing GS for a while. That's crazy, Sullivan. Shout out to you, man. GS shafted me on Monday, did 300 rounds of crest farming and didn't get a single level 4. That's actually wild. For a level 4, like, if you said 4 plus, then, you know, I would say until you hit about like 5 around, well, I say around 500 because that's, I think, statistically right. But I would say 600 is around the time where you know you're actually getting shafted. If you haven't got a 4 plus within 600 runs on a singular character. But yeah, chat, it's been pretty chill so far, and it's been a while since we talked. I didn't stream it all last week because last week was also crazy. It was actually the first week that I started my brand new job. So yeah, I literally was trying to manage that schedule, seeing how I could work around that and everything, and there's a whole lot of stuff of me going back and forth between all these different buildings and everything. But I got it all set up now, and it's pretty chill, man. I'm gonna be honest. It's a pretty dope time. I work the weekends and I'm off the week. Like, can't really complain. It works perfectly with my schedule. Who should you get with the summer ticket? Summer Miyu. I don't know why I was gonna say Summer Malim. Summer Miyu. And if you have Summer Miyu already, you get Summer Chloe. If you already have Summer Miyu and Summer Chloe, just get another Summer Miyu. What are we gonna do today, chat? I still have to farm like damn near everything here, like from Fate to everything else. So I have a lot of catching up to do, which means I may need to use an actual Fate character. I'm also not worried too much about farming the luck gems here, because I think is that a thing? Or is that for kill? I might be thinking of just kill a kill. I don't know if this has the luck gems unless it's in part 2. It might be in part 2. Yeah, these I don't really care too much to farm. I literally didn't farm at all. Like the very first time it came around, I did not care. So I doubt I'm gonna do it again. I mean, the only one that I would maybe want to farm is for Summer BU, but I don't care enough, man. I really don't. I already have my luck units. So I am going to farm both of these events to try to get all the LB stones that I need, because I'm kind of running low on them just a bit. And then I also need to do the Maset event, which, oh my god, are you serious? Chat, I've done this whole event. I've done this whole event, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I've done this whole event, and it still gives me this cutscene because I haven't watched it all the way through before, and it auto plays it every time. And I just close the app 24/7. Like, watch. It should be completed, right? Wait, it's not completed? Wait. No, because I would have mats. I thought I completed this already. Am I tripping? I might be tripping. Yeah, I'm definitely tripping. Okay. Because I've literally tried to skip that cutscene like 3 times, and I think every time I've done it, I just completely forgot about doing it. Because I was like, oh, I'll do it another day. I'll do it another day. So yeah, we'll tackle all this and get through this today as well. But I am going to go into part 3. Does this have... Are these all shared? I think these all are shared, right? I hope at least. Why is there... Interesting. I don't know why there's 3 special EXs for the same quest, or for the same currency. Or is this one different? No, this one isn't different, is it? Yeah, they're all the same, currency-wise. Unless let me find out each shop is actually individual, but it's the same currency. No. Okay, yeah. That's how it works. I would summon for Orville. If you don't summon for Orville, I think that you're actually hindering your account. I guess I'll just do the Summer Ilia event. I mean, all of them are the same, so there's that. And then... I could technically use... You know what, I'll probably just use Miyu for the additional bonuses, because I'm assuming I will get additional bonuses. Since she's still a Fate character, right? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, with Prisma Ilia crossover units. They don't name these differently, right? Okay, yeah, they're the same. Not solo. What collabs am I hoping for this year? I don't really care too much about like specific collabs. I'm kind of cool with whatever, as long as the collab is pretty enjoyable and you know they actually bring in some good units and some interesting kits. I would say I'm kind of I'm cool whatever. Is this everything I need? Yeah, this would be fine. This would be fine. What about the AI set right here? Equip 1, equip 3, true art. Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh my god, I gotta put someone random too. Okay. I don't care. Just give me an Okarun, I guess. It's fine. All right, chat. There we go. Just like how it always is, if you guys want to join, I don't care if you're brand new. I don't care if you're a veteran player. I don't care if you're using bonus or whatever. Anybody can join. We do not care. I don't know what Ilia is. I don't know if it's light. Well, I know Ilia is light, but I don't know if this fight is a light fight or if it's a dark boss or what. Yeah, but I don't really care too much about the collabs. I mean, of course I want new collabs in the game, but it's not like, oh, we're not getting a new collab. We're getting cucked. You know what I mean? Like, as long as we got new units that are cool and interesting, that's kind of all I care about. Because units are the content in GS. If we don't have new units, man, we just don't get anything. Like, man, the game is so fucking dead whenever units come out and they're just kind of lackluster. There's no real like new content or like theories or build crafting you can do, and it's just very boring. When they're gonna release Gilgamesh? Probably never, to be honest. This crossover. Wait, did this crossover come back in JP2? I don't think it did. I think this crossover was a one-time thing just for global. Or the rerun was, at least. Right? Or did it come back in JP? I don't think it did. It's very likely we won't ever get this crossover again. Unless JP gets it and they do bring out Gilgamesh and stuff. But if we do see Gilgamesh, if it's from this specific movie, then... what? Yeah, Prisma Ilia is a movie, right? Or is it like a series? I don't know. I never watched Prisma Ilia. So I'm not for sure. But it may be like what's the other thing? Like Garden of Sinners? 'Cause that's technically a series, but like they're all like an hour long. But if we get Gilgamesh from this, he'll be Kid Gilgamesh, which some people may like, some people may not, but because I do know he is the one that's actually in that series. I'm gonna play Neo 3, maybe. The only game I'm really looking out for in February is Resident Evil, and maybe like a few indie games that possibly come out. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, it's just Resident Evil. I'll definitely like pick up Neo eventually though. I will say that I am worried a little bit about the optimization for Neo. Cause yeah, man. The optimization requirements, I think it's like a 3070. And I'm like, there's no way that game requires a 3070. That is ridiculous. I think it's a 3070, isn't it? Might be a 3060 that I'm thinking of. One game that surprised me with that requirement was Code Vein. I'm like, really? Code Vein needs a 3060 or a 3070? That's like what they recommend? I don't know about that one. Oh, you're Brazilian, you don't know. Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know if I can do live captions. I don't know if I can do that. Possibly, I could probably run like an AI or something. Or I'm surprised YouTube doesn't have that. Like a live translator. When's the next collab on Global? We don't know yet. They probably wouldn't believe you. Hey man, shout out to you. That's crazy, Turbo. But yeah, man, I am definitely looking forward to this Orville maintenance, let me say. I am kind of a little bit sad that there's not actual game modes coming or anything, but we have been blessed recently with the mines and all that, so maybe it's possible we get raids before long. Maybe, but we'll have to see. All right, Chad. You should play the demo. It's tonight for Neo 3. Oh, really? I didn't know about that. But, I mean, that makes sense. I remember playing... Oh, dude, I must sound like an old head here. I remember playing the very first Neo's technical test, like on PlayStation, whenever they were showing it off. And I was like, this game's really cool. But... And then I wound up buying it whenever it came out eventually. And I never beat the first Neo, like whenever I first bought it. It took me like... I don't think I came... Yeah, because I think I was playing Destiny at the time. I was just such a hardcore like Destiny player back then. I think I went to play the game. I played through first few missions. Got probably like halfway through. And then I... stopped playing it, and I came back I think like a year or two later and then beat it. Romnix, what's up, man? But yeah, I don't know if you guys saw though in my most recent video, live stream wise, I said, well, technically it was a live stream for JP, but they are promising a lot, the GS devs, and not gonna lie, I don't know if it's kind of bluffing or if they're like tooting their own horn, but they're saying a lot for this this new year, man. And it's not like I'm a pessimistic or anything, or you know, I don't like being like that. I would consider myself a bit of an optimist, right? No prime, but I don't know about this one. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have. Let me see. Let me bring it over here. Unexpected collab chat. Minosaur's High. Completion. I still think this is wild because Etekica's not the final unit. And I don't know who the final unit is. Because you have Huma, Highlander, Etekica, Shala, Minas. Who else is in Minosaur's High that needs a unit? I don't know. A collab everyone's been waiting for. Which, okay, for this, I meant to say this in my video, but I didn't. I think this is going to be a collab that we voted for. Right here. Like, a collab everyone has been waiting for. If you guys remember the collab voting poll, like, they did, what, last year? Year and a half ago at this point, possibly. It's probably a collab from there. And then the unexpected collab is not going to be from that. It's going to be something completely out of nowhere. I don't think we've ever possibly even talked about it for GS, which is interesting because it's like, is it going to be Food Wars? You know what I mean? That'd be fucking wild. Or a video game collab, you know? We've been asking them to do a gaming collab. So it would be cool. But yeah, this is probably going to be from that list. A new saga, which hopefully it's for one of the races we don't really have a abundance of units for. So giants, I think, could definitely benefit from a saga dedicated to them. I could also see dragons definitely getting a saga all to themselves. Machines, you know, could definitely do it too. I think that'd be dope. So, I mean, look, if you can't get Gundam, I just say that the easiest way for you to make, like, most people like a saga with machines is that you either just make like tanks or something, you know, something crazy, or you make pilots and you get them to pilot in mechs. And you may say that that's a ripoff of Gundam, but if you do it right, I think you can get away with it. I think you can get away with it. Like, it could be a transformation where they, like, the Gundam isn't like a huge Titan type thing. It's like an exosuit, kind of. Like, you flick up on their super art and they transform into their mechanized self, and that's how they're counted as a machine or something. I think that could be a possibility. But that story is fully voiced. I don't know what this could be, unless it's talking about maybe the Blood Knight saga or Cross the Blaze, maybe. I could see them pushing maybe Phantom Snipers as well, since Simon is going to be getting his own unit over here. Or let me say a brand new character, which we'll probably be seeing that. I'm going to say midway through this year, we'll be seeing Simon, Ascended Simon. Because I'm pretty sure they did not expect this guy to win the popularity contest at all. Like, whenever they did that, I'm pretty sure they had probably other characters, like, they had an idea they were going to do. I'm pretty sure they did not expect Simon to win. White Day Simon? I mean, it could be White Day Simon. Now, that's what I was thinking too. This could be like the first time to do White Day. I think that we could see possibly a White Day Reyes and a White Day Simon. I think that would kind of be a little cool. I'm almost positive too that this Reyes, the Ascended one, is going to be a premium unit. Like, you're going to have to summon for him. He's not going to be free. We'll have to see if that's true or not. I mean, it's possible because every Reyes that's ever came out has been a free to play character. Granted, it's only been the original one that we have, but I doubt that we get an Ascended Reyes that is actually free. I feel like they're going to make him paid. Or premium, let me say. Is that... Yeah, the 10th anniversary. Dude, this was throwing me for a loop, though. Whenever I first read this, I was like, wait. 10th anniversary? Like, we're already talking about the 10th anniversary? We just had the 9th anniversary on JP. So I was like, wait, is it the 9th anniversary in global? Dude, I was literally tripping balls whenever I first read this. But it's just kind of like a mini roadmap of everything they plan on doing this year, I guess. So we know for a fact 2 collabs, a unit here. So what, we're going to have like, let's say 4, 8. That's 8 units. This is going to be 9. a new saga that's probably going to bring in like another 5. So what is that, like 14? And then super update. This is so vague. What the hell does it mean, a super update, chat? Also, I'm probably just going to start this in a second, but One Piece collab? JP and Global Sync? Maybe. But I feel like they would go ahead and let us know about that. That is something that we've been talking about for a while. Like, oh, let's sync the versions, you know? Especially like amongst the community. It's like, why isn't that a thing yet? GS is like one of the only games where the global and the Japanese side is like completely different. And nowadays gacha, I feel like that's kind of unheard of. Like at most, it might be a week apart from each other. I think that's what Seven Deadly Sins does, right? But for the most part, usually everything comes out at the same time. So that might be what that is for the super update. But I also don't completely believe that. And if it's being advertised as a super update, I'm hoping this is like stuff that the players can actually benefit from, and it's not just what they're going to benefit from by like selling us something new. And it's like, oh yeah, you know, give us more money or something like that. I feel like this should be a very big quality of life and like just overall game health update. Like just make the game a bit more enjoyable or fun with a super update. Maybe they'll give us more details on what that is soon. Because yeah, I don't think there's anything else here. At least down here. Change the ability to skip some summon scenes. I mean, I guess that's good. Also, Chad, I will not cap. Will not cap. Fire roll? I don't know, chat room. I don't know if I like them. I'm gonna be honest. Which is kind of sad because with his release, is that the final unit from Grand Crusade? At least for this saga? It might be. And if that's the case, man, that sucks. It's gonna be Mork. He looks like a beast unit. Let me see. Or it might be hidden here, right? The live stage summary. Let me scroll up. I think the last live stage was Menace, right? Oh no, it was. Oh wait, no. It's on. It was an actual live stream. It wasn't a live stage. Hold on. Where did that go? Let me see. It was this one, wasn't it? Probably after this. Wait, did they not talk about this saga at all? I thought they showed like a little map. Okay, I guess they didn't. Interesting. Maybe it's up here. I could have swore. I guess they didn't. I was gonna see if they had him on the map to where I could see it, but I guess not. But yeah, back to Fire Roll, man. I think this unit's kind of buns. I'm just gonna be completely honest. The main thing that I think you will use him for is this stats up, bro. Like everything else, I don't really like too much. The magic damage is really good, but like in my head, it just doesn't make sense for you to be like, oh my god, like 300% magic damage. Like, yes, please give me that. Whenever you have Hoka running around And he gives the entire team 300%, not just the leader. Not to mention, in JP, you also have Shala, and Shala is leagues ahead of what we're seeing here with Viral. And Shala is a spirit, so a bit more of a unique race. And her thing is that she gives you 300% damage as long as you're not an Earth unit. Of course, it's tied to her super art, but still, it's like, I think that's a bit better. Also, the miasma effect is really good here. But how many stages really have miasma? You know what I mean? Like, you could probably count them on your hand. It's like less than 5, I'm pretty sure. If it's more than 5, then it's definitely less than 10. Not to mention, like, this one, like, this art just seems so out of place. They just threw something on them. 10 arc gauge 2 and not even 20? Crazy. Actually crazy. The blind is nice, though. I will say that. I think another blind character added to the mix is cool, but no way to reduce blind res. I don't even think the true weapon reduces blind res, right? Yeah, it's just water res. His design is very cool, but overall kind of a bit lackluster, just a bit. Our next GC unit should be Yuna? I think the next GC unit is Dragon Knight guy. Aaron's, right? I think it's Aaron's, then Yuna. Or is... Yeah. Let me see. No, I think Yuna came after Aaron's. Oh, no, wait. No, you might be right. Yuna may have came first. Yeah, Yuna may have came first. Yeah, I think I think Yuna actually did come first. It's Yuna then Aaron's, I'm pretty sure. It's because it goes Yuna, Aaron's. Who's after Aaron's? Is it... Oh, wait, no. Highlander's from Menace. So yeah, it goes Yuna, Aaron's, and then Viral. Okay. More dragon characters, absolute cinema. Man, I do love some dragon characters, I'm not gonna lie. But the main issue with Aaron's is that I wish that there were more dragon characters to use him alongside. I think he looks sick too. Like, dude, this guy is massive. You ever see a sprite in game? It's insane how freaking huge Aaron's is. Let me see though. Increase on arts by 30. I mean, Aaron's isn't a bad unit at all. He has a disease unit too. Very unique stats effect. Not too many units can inflict disease. He's also technically a 300% damage buffer as well. As long as there's a stats effect on the enemy. But yeah, Viral, a little bit upset with the final GC character here. I really wish they would have done him a bit more justice. Just a bit. Because this seems a bit like creative burnout almost. And I don't want to like just say that just to say it, but I don't know. It's like, just give him whatever. That's what I get from this, man, more so than anything. This passive is cool though. I like the crit rate, or if he's not the leader, you can ignore the enemy's defense. I like that. Maybe that was the thing too. Maybe they were trying to make him a bit of a jack of all trades. And since he's a jack of all trades, he's kind of like a master of none. I could definitely see that being said for him. Oh, what's the lobby? Oh, snap. I'm so sorry. I do not know why I have not put the lobby code in the chat. Let me do that real quick. There we go. Sorry about that, chat. I just think this year for global at least is gonna be dry outside. I do too. I definitely do too, Soulfox. This year's kind of a little rough, which is wild because I thought 2025 looked like really rough. But no, man, I think 2026 looks even worse. Yeah, I think that's for a lot of people. Like, it's just Orville and Shala, and that's it. It really will be, though, Glitch. Because, like, realistically, unless you're somebody who summons a lot, like, for example, me, and you try to go for, like, multiple different teams, 2 characters is all you need from this year, at least from what we know so far. Shala and Orville. Everybody else is just kind of there. Now, if we get Etekica, then Etekica's a good pickup. But when it comes to like most of the other characters, they cut out whatever. But if you like Sword God Luan's team, then it's possible you want to pick up someone like Natasha. If you don't care about Natasha, then don't even worry about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy how bad like our lineup is this year. Also, you know what? I'm gonna use a damn luck unit, man. Let me put on my J. I'm gonna use J, and then I'm just going to equip him with like Fate crossover stuff. Just so he can get like the bonus like that. Is there a Fate heal equip? Yeah, I didn't think so. That was definitely a 4-star physical for Fate, right? I can do 4-star support. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, swimsuit. Oh, I probably just don't have it then. New Rosetta. Yeah, New Rosetta and Celia are both pretty good too. But like, I feel like for those 2 characters, they're a bit more specialized. That's kind of why I didn't talk about them. Kind of like Natasha. Like, Celia, I feel like is kind of more of this. Just wants to be kind of on the mono water magic team. Especially like the new Rosetta. The new Rosetta, I really get that from her. Like, she just wants to be on the mono water magic with other like magic water characters. But I don't know, man. I don't really fuck with that. If I cared about mono water magic, then I would, but I'm not really a fan of mono water magic. But they're both really good characters. It's just like, if I had to pity anybody from this year, and let me say I only had 2 pities, and you know, this is kind of stretching it because we don't actually know if Shala will be out this year. But if Shala is coming out, then it would just be Orville D and Shala. And that would be like my 2 pities. A runner-up after that would be Madoka. And then following Madoka would be like Sayaka. Apart from that, though, I don't really care about any of the other characters they could possibly release. Pity-wise, there are characters that interest me, like design-wise. Highlander, I think, looks really cool. Etekica, of course. Henrietta, because it's freed. World in Leon, I think, has a cool gimmick, being able to extend the Magia drives. I kind of want to try to make a Kyoko work, because her damage seems pretty solid even though she doesn't have the ratio passive. Zephyr? Oh wait. Was Zephyr a part of the Mina story? I think so. I think Zephyr is a part of the Mina story. Yeah, I think so. Could be wrong. Because now since you guys are saying that, I really don't remember. She may have just been a story character though. I think she was part of the regular story. What's up, Gold? How you doing? A rabbit platoon? Oh shit, man. You guys are throwing me for a loop. Let me look up. I'm gonna look up Zephyr in JP News and see. Let me see, Zephyr. Zephyr was main story. She's chapter 35. Yeah, right here. Oh, whoops. Yeah, there's her, and then chapter 35 right there. And then here's the secret equip from chapter 35 as well. Increase own damage by 70% and non-god, non-human, and non-demon allies damage by 70%. Holy, that's actually a really good one. That's actually not bad at all. What the fuck? That's an AoE buff too. Jesus. Yeah, I don't think too many people used her. I think she's possibly really good with Sword God Luan's team because she's another unique race. And it seems like that she could possibly get by on that team. Not to mention, like, she buffs up everybody's, like, damage, but her damage buff is very low. Like, she does attack, dark damage, and physical damage, all 60% respectively, which those are 3 really good buffs, especially if you're using her on a dark team. But only 60%? You know what I mean? Like, in total, you're getting a 180% buff on a super art? Questionable if that's actually going to be good or not. Or if it's going to be worth using, let me say, compared to other dark units. Especially if the new Simon that comes out is a dark unit, you'll probably just use him over Zephyr in that final slot on Sword God Luan's team. Because really, Sword God Luan only needs, I would argue, 2 unique races in this lineup. As long as he has 2. I mean, if he can have 3, that's even better. But I think 2 is all you need to make it to where his super crits and stuff have a really good duration. Atla? No way. Not Atla. Atla, look, dude, from the first time I saw that unit, I was like, this looks like the biggest throwaway unit I've ever seen. Does she buff up evasion? If she buffs up evasion, then the evasion lovers, there's like 5 of them out there, are gonna go crazy. Let me check. A part of me thinks she does buff up evasion. Where's she at in this? Atla, there she is. Okay, no, yeah. She does not buff up evasion. She has a pretty cool super art, I will say. Like, she reduced the enemy's damage res, and she gives, like, your team more stats based on how much, wait, am I controlling this? Oh, no, I'm not. But she gives, I said more stats. She gives more damage res the lower the HP is, and she gives your team more DR based on how low the enemy's HP is. Which is kind of good to an extent, because a lot of bosses are gonna have like crazy nukes and everything like at the end of their HP bar. My thing is though, is this like an active buff, or let me say dynamic? Like, you know, can it change based on the enemy's HP, or is it like upon activation, whatever the enemy's HP is, that would determine like how much DR you get? Another thing is like, do we need the boss to be at like, you know, 1% HP in order to get the full DR and the full damage res down on them, or how does that work? Since we can't really see that counter in game. Is he going to be really strong on global? I mean, here's the thing about global and JP. And here's the thing that's crazy. In reality, it doesn't matter. If he released and he was like, okay, we're making him with global in mind compared to JP, the power difference between JP and global is very minor. Like, for an example, if they gave us Etekica out of nowhere, Etekica would definitely shake up the meta because she is just that good of a character. But it wouldn't be like, oh, completely meta breaking, like everything. Or I guess she would be a bit meta breaking, but it wouldn't be like everything in the game just gets instantly slapped by Etekica. I feel like the power level between global and JP is relatively the same. And really, whenever we get new characters, the power level doesn't really... It goes up very slightly, like if that makes sense. Like every new addition to the Japanese side of the game ups the power scale very tiny, like a very, very tiny amount. They're really not making units that are just, you know, leagues and bounds ahead of like other characters. We're not seeing that. Now, in the beginning of the Ascended era, we did see that a lot. Like, you know, you had War God Finn, and then a few months later you had Star God Lisa, and then, you know, a couple months later, you had Kirisame. Like, these guys were at the forefront of the meta. And then, you know, we had Overlord. Then Overlord brought all these crazy units. And then Ainz was at the top and all sorts of stuff. Like, then Hoka eventually came out. And Hoka was, like, the best. He's the biggest example of, like, them making a character that is so far ahead of the rest of the game, it's not even funny. And mind you, Hoka came out years ago at this point. When was the... Hold on, wait, I'm going to look it up. When was the day Hoka came out to global? Let me see. Hoka Grand Summoners. Let me see this. So, this is... And I'm going to show you guys what I mean by this. But, like, a character being, like, leagues ahead of something else. So, I think this is the original video right here of when Hoka came out. It says a year ago, but in reality, it's about, I mean, it's going to be 2 years in August. So in 2024, that's when this came out. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind, 2024, global is when this happened. In JP, it was different. JP was vastly different because this was... So this is JP. JP, it came out in April. So it's a bit closer to being 2 years for JP. But if we go over here to the database, okay, I'm going to show you guys this. It took them a year and a half, let's just say 2 years, you know, to simplify it, for a unit to catch up to Hoka. And that unit was none other than Shala. Shala is the only replacement or the only person that can mimic what Hoka does in the Japanese side of the game at the current moment. Because she is a character that gives 300% damage up on the super art. She gives art gauge. She heals, which Hoka does heal a bit as well. And, you know, she has cleanses and stuff like that, which is cool. But the main thing is that she's another character that gives the 300% damage up. This is what made Hoka so crazy whenever he first came out, on top of the fact that he gave so much arch gen. Like, Hoka still gives more arch gen than her, by the way. Like, she only gives 6. You know, Hoka gives what? Is it like 10 technically if you're the leader? Because he has 7 by default, I think one of the highest in the game, if not the highest, not including like Summer, or not said Summer, like the new Leone coming out and stuff. 7 arts, for 25 seconds, 300% crit damage, and you get more arc gauge if you're the leader. Like, this right here, it was years ahead of anything that was currently in the game whenever Hoka released, and still is. Like, even in JP, Hoka is still used. Like, people use Hoka or use Shala. That is the meta. It's like how it was back in the day whenever it was during the Awoken era. You either used Mako or you used freaking Haruto, or you use them together. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like that. It's literally the exact same situation all over again. But that's like one of the only times we've seen that. You know, I mean, of course we've seen it to an extent. You've seen it as well with like, if we go over here to the tier list with Shiro, right? Because Shiro was like the king of in-game for so long. He was one of the only characters that gave passive damage res and one of the only damage mitigation characters in the game. But that didn't last that long because the Shadow crossover came shortly after, and then Shadow brought Beta, and technically she could have been like your Shiro, right? And then later on, you know, we got Toma and stuff like that too. But he was like bringing in the damage mitigation thing. For the most part, though, hopefully you can see that the difference in power really isn't that much, apart from like very minute things that you will probably only be able to tell the difference if you're in like the very, I don't want to sound like, I guess it's not really like sound like a dick, but like the upper echelon, like you know GS the inside and out, you know the code, you know exactly where this letter is in the code. If I told you where is this line of code, you could probably point it out to me without even, you know, opening up any of the coding and like whatever this game's coded in. I don't know what it is, maybe Java or whatever. Either way, if you're like there, then you probably can tell the difference between what JP has compared to us. But in reality, it's not that big of a deal. That if a JP unit came out, it wouldn't shake up the game as much as you may think it would. It would still shake up the game, but it wouldn't be like astronomical. Oh my god, like, you know, up here, you know, we got to break a whole new tier. For an example, Etekica. If Etekica released, we got to make a whole new tier for Etekica. No, like Etekica would be at the top. She'd probably be like S tier or SS, probably SS, because I think of her a lot like Uppy's Roy. And I'm pretty sure most people would perceive her as that way too. I think that would be cool. Yeah, cross art between Race and Roy. Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, technically Hoka is faster to use because his arch gen and his damage buff is tied to one thing compared to Shala. Like Shala, you have to use the true art in order to access the rest of that kit. You know what I mean? Like you have to do the true art to get the arch gen online and the healing. And then if you want the damage buff, you use your super art. It's a bit more steps, and she costs more arch gen to use, which is a thing that most people don't talk about. But it's something to consider that whenever you're building a team, like how efficient does your team use arts? Like if you have someone that is like Hoka, where he wants to use all of his kit if he can, but in reality, you could just use his super art and true art, and that's all you got to use. You know, it's 500 art gauge, right? But for Shala, you want to be using the art, you know, to get the huge heal and also the like stat cleanses whenever you need it. So that's 100. You got to use your true art. That's 200. You got to build up into your super art. That's 300. You know, 600 art gauge for you to be able to do everything she wants, and she can't really like forego using one or the other. I mean, unless it's like in the art, for an example. The art's probably the only thing that you could probably be like, oh, I don't need to use that in this quest. But it's something to consider compared to like other characters, because in reality, it's probably all going to match up about the same at the end of the day. But Shala having to use the true art and then the super art does make her just inherently slower than Hoka. Especially in like nuking settings, you know? Or like, I wouldn't even say nuking settings, like just in sustain settings. If you want that damage instantly, you'll have to forego the arch gen, which is going to slow down your team overall. And it's going to be like, damn, that damage buff may have not been worth it, you know, right out the gate. Unless you're nuking. If you're nuking, then the damage buff is always going to be worth it. But if you can't nuke the boss, then crap, you know. That was like, what is that? Physical, magic, defense, heal, support. Is there another one that I'm missing? Yeah, it's all of them. That's another thing too, yeah. He's type E. I mean, that's the reason why you can run him with Shala, because Shala is type B. So there's that. Etekica is the new character from Minosaur's High. They changed her name on Global, but just like how it goes with all of these name changes, I won't ever switch what I call them. Her original name was Etekica. This is Etekica. She's pretty much, to an extent, she's made for mono light, but in reality, you can use her in a lot of different places. Especially considering the fact that she has this. On the super art use, you enter Lord of Feathers, which is her like transformation, and the first time you use it, everybody gets through into Art Cage. You literally build her to rush into that super art, and as soon as you get into the super art, you have 300 arts. Gonna be one of the best characters, especially in like nuking or whatever else, man. It's gonna be ridiculous. So there's that. She also has the damage buff too, which the damage buff is really good for everybody, and even light characters. You know, like it's not just, or let me say, it's not just only for light. Like regular, any unit in the game is just gonna get 200%, but light damage is also gonna be increased by 200%. So really wants to be run alongside like other light units. My thing is that I think it's getting increasingly harder to slot in characters into mono light, because if you look at mono light, I mean, you want to use, like, look at this freaking lineup. This is crazy. Like, you want to use Kenshin because he has the DR, right? And then you want to use Hiro Saitama because these two just work so well together. But then if you have those two on the team, you want to run another human, so you go with like Emperor, and now the duration is pretty good that you have, because what, that's a total of, is that 120 with just two, or with all three? That's 120 for the duration, because it goes up by 30 seconds for each human, right? Yeah, for each human it goes up by 30. So you have 120 seconds with those three, and then it's like, well, I guess you run Orville D, because Orville D is so good with the damage and the archgen and all that type of stuff. But maybe you don't run Orville D. Maybe I go with Farron. Farron's like just such a good archgener and good damage buffs all around. Like, she's insane. But then maybe I don't go with Farron. You know, like maybe I go with Etekica over here, because Etekica's crazy. Like, it's so competitive now. Like, Mono Light has done some crazy stuff. It's also a thing too that I want to mention though, is that technically Kenshin might be getting pushed away from this lineup because of Madoka. Because Madoka has passive DR right here, and this passive DR might be better than what Kenshin offers. The thing is though, is that even if Kenshin gets pushed off the team, technically it's not better, especially if you want to build around Hiro Saitama, because Hiro Saitama wants attack up, and no one else is giving attack up apart from, no, I don't even think Orville D gives attack up, apart from the stats up, like right here, because this attack up is for himself. Yeah, so like, that's something to consider as well. I mean, you're always going to have Hiro Saitama on the team, but I think we're going to slowly start to move away from him being the star of the show and moving to like other characters being really good. A thing to mention though is that you really need to make sure that you have archgeners, because if you do like Hiro Saitama, Madoka, Orville D, and Etekica, like dude, the slots on the team are god awful. Like holy shit. Let me just start this. But you have physical, magic, defense. Holy chat, that's terrible. And she doesn't have any arcage in the kit apart from the 20 arts on the art and the super art. Orville D, even though he's incredibly good, Orville D only has physical, magic, defense, and he only has arcage whenever you get him into his super art. Hero Saitama has no support equips, literally terrible, and he doesn't give any kind of arc gauge, but he's pretty self-sufficient with himself as long as you can get his skill going. And then, like, at that point, if you run, was it Madoka, Saitama, Orville D, like, shit, man, what else are you gonna do? I don't think, wait, does Madoka do arc gauge? I don't think so, right? Yes, she doesn't. Yeah, increase own arts by 40. I mean, you have a 4-star support, whoop-de-doo. If you run Etekica in that other slot, I mean, dude, you have no support items. Like, I think that you have to slot in Firin in that team. Like, Firin by herself can carry the team in terms of overtime arch gen. But yeah, I don't think you can just solo dolo it with all of them. Like, you're going to need some type of arch gen either from Firin, from Kenshin, World in Leon possibly. But if you use World in Leon on that team, here's the thing about her, is that she is literally only there for arch genning, because the damage res down is good, but you have to inflict some type of status effect in order to get this. And everything else that she does in the kit is kind of like, I don't want to say like lackluster, but it's definitely more for the Magia Drive. I think you get the most value out of her if you use her alongside other Magia Drive characters. If you're not using her with the Magia Drive unit, then she's kind of whatever. And unfortunately, Mono Light doesn't have a Magia Drive unit. Maybe we'll get one eventually. I don't know who it could be, because Leon is like the only one that is a... But no, she had Demonic True Eclipse, so there's that. But I mean, maybe Thetis. We get an Ascended Thetis. But that's it, man. Yeah, Ascended Juno, right? But I mean, Ascended Juno isn't Magia Drive. She does Demonic True Eclipse. Right? I think that's what hers is called as well. Yeah, but Mono Light has so many good characters. It's hard to like even slot in anybody. Like Yuna, this is what sucks about Yuna, is that it's so hard for Yuna to even fit into the team, because like, it's not that Yuna's necessarily bad. I think her gimmick is cool. Her whole thing is about being lucky. Well, I say being lucky like it's an option, but in reality, it's not. Like, you just enter extreme luck mode with the super art. You go in with the super art, you get into extreme luck mode, you use the skill, you get tons of arc gauge. You have this true art, which gives you tons of physical res. If they're below 50% HP, you reduce their physical res by an additional 30%. If they're below 20%, you get even more physical res down. And, you know, you get super crit rate while you're in extreme luck mode. Like, she's a cool unit, definitely, like, by design, but, like, man, dude, especially her art, dude. Oh my god. I think her art's probably the best looking art in the entire game. But in reality, it's just kind of whatever. But yeah, I mean, technically Leon, like, if you need just an arch gen, because here's the thing about that team. Orville D, once he gets going, he can do the arch genning by himself. Technically, I will say he doesn't have any innate arch gen in the kit unless you have a fire ally on the team. And if you're running Mono Light, you're not going to have a fire ally. So, you know, forget that being a thing. Even his true weapon does not give him overtime arc gauge. So because of that, you will have to supply him with a little bit of arch gen. But to get him going, that's all you got to do. You got to just get him going. Once he's like off to the races, his super equip will be able to supply a team with all the arch gen they need. So running World in Leon with Orville D could be a strategy. And then with those two, you then go in with like Madoka. Madoka gives 30% DR to everybody. And then you have Hero Saitama to give the active 30% DR plus the barrier. I could also see a world where maybe you forego Saitama for Madoka, but I also think that's a terrible idea. I'm going to be honest. I think you need Saitama. If you throw Saitama off the team, I think you're actually like smoking. I don't think you're in the right headspace. I am a firm believer that this guy is one of the most broken light units that we have, even compared to like what's in JP. And if you put him off the team, like, dude, you're losing out on so much damage and so much like defensive capabilities. Another thing, though, is that, you know, you also have Godspeed Platina. I will say, too, if you're running Orville D, it might be wise to use him alongside of his sister. Because Star God reducing all of the, or making all equips faster is very strong. Especially for Orville D, considering the fact that his entire gimmick is around his super equip. The bad part is that it's a physical item, so he doesn't benefit from like the super, or it's a super, well, technically it's a super art, but the magic damage buff. He does benefit from the light damage buff she provides, but Orville D, Star God, Madoka, does she give a, I think she's just defense pretty much, right? Like you get stats up, you get a cleanse, you get DR, and you crit rate and crit damage. I mean, in reality, I mean, that might be pretty solid. Madoka, Star God, Orville D, Saitama. I mean, dude, I feel like you gotta have that fucking guy, man. We really don't have a Cinemagia drive unit? We do. If you actually see, there's two. We have one in JP and one in Global. So in Global, we have Demon Edge Berwick. He has Magia Drive Unlimited, right? He's actually better in JP, by the way. You can see the difference here. You see, is you during Magia Drive, activate Magia Drive Unlimited, and the art here, what was it? For 25 seconds, yeah, it gets buffed. It lasts for 25 seconds. And then you get the stats up, you get the Magia Drive, and then activate Magia Drive Unlimited for the remaining of the Magia Drive. And what else gets changed? It's Super Art. Yeah, Super Art gets buffed up to 100%, and this gets buffed up to 200%. I think right now, what is that? Is it 50? Yeah, look at that. Dude, that's fucking terrible. Who designed this unit? But we have him, and then the other Magia Drive character in JP is Star Swordsman Rosetta, I think, right? Doesn't she have this? Or no? Yeah, she has Magia Drive as well. So, those are the two Magia Drive characters. But yeah, man, it's so crazy to think about Mono Light because, I mean, you could probably run the numbers and crunch it and be like, oh, I want to use like this, and this, whatever. Let me see how much damage they deal. Like, if you're building for the most optimized DPS setup, I don't even know like what you would possibly run apart from the fact that you run Hero Saitama. I think the damage dealer every single time is going to be Hero Saitama. Even with Orville D's like crazy damage up that he has for being on a Mono Light team, this guy, I think this guy just keeps getting better. Like, I think a lot of times it's going to be Hero Saitama, Kenshin, and then when Etekica comes out, I think Etekica is going to take that last slot. And then that third slot is probably where you throw in Farron, or you go with another like light human, like Young Imp. Because I saw in my chat not too long ago, someone was saying that Etekica replaces Young Imp in the team. And I think that is likely, but the problem is that you lose out on another human. So your DR buff from Kenshin is so low at that point, which you're killing stuff fast with Saitama. That's the whole thing, is that even with him being very defensive, he's always going to deal crazy amounts of damage. But I just don't see that actually working, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't. I don't think that's going to be like the best thing or the most optimal way. I think you need 120 seconds of DR. But the reason why I like this guy a bit more in the team is just for the massive amount of stackable damage buffs that you could possibly get. Like, 200% damage all the time, dude. Or not 200% damage, my bad. The 100... Or actually, no, wait. No, yeah, it is 200% damage every single time you use this super art for the first, like, 90 seconds of the quest. I just think that's kind of unbeatable, man. Unless you're doing a quest where you can't stack it so that extra damage is just kind of forfeit. Know what I mean? If that's the case, then okay, we don't need to worry about it. But if you're able to stack that extra damage, you have to use this guy. Like, you have to. There's no way you sub him out, man. There's just no way. If you have him, you gotta use him. He's just too good for Mono Light. That's the problem. This team's too good. We need another unit slot. We need 5 units for Mono Light. Hell, we could do 6 units for Mono Light. I'm gonna be honest. Like, a 6-unit team, this team full clears every piece of content. I don't think it sweats at all. That'd be crazy if they, you know, ever added another unit slot. Maybe that's what the super update is. They're going to make it to where you can have 5 units on a team, which that would break the game. That would actually break the game more than any unit ever. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, 5 units would be absurd. Like, that would be crazy. Because, like, with 5 units, you know, theoretically, you could do... I mean, and so many characters would have to be reworked. Especially units that have, like, a numbered passives, like Kenshin, for an example. Where Kenshin wants 4 specific units on the team and stuff like that. Like, now it's 5, so do you up that? So does he technically get up to 50% DR? And then, like, around... Instead of, like, 2 minutes of... I was saying 120 seconds, my bad. I meant 90 seconds whenever I was talking about 3 humans on the team. But, so now instead of 120, you get 150 seconds if you have 5 light humans on the team, right? So, that would be wild. Actually wild. But, this team is very, very competitive. I think it's probably, like, whenever Mono Light whenever we first did the Ascended Era, or they did the Ascended Era, let me say, one thing we all noticed is that Mono Light had nothing. Like, in the beginning, and I mean, it's still this case, is like, water was getting it all, fire was getting a lot of units. I mean, fire has more units than water, right? It's actually crazy, yeah, they do. You know, water was getting a lot of units, fire was getting a lot of units, earth was lacking, and it still is lacking. Dark was kind of lacking for a bit, but now it's got everybody. Also, technically in the beginning, Dark had the most ascended characters because we got Demon Lord Vox fairly early. We had the Overlord collab fairly early. We had Hell's Paradise. Like, we had a lot of characters. And Light was one of the ones that kind of got left in the dust for a while because apart from Star God and Senki, we didn't really see another one until, like, what, BF Emperor possibly? I think that was like when we got the next Light unit. Really, and then even then it was like, damn, like, we still are lacking in light characters. But now, like, light is to the point to where it's like you don't have enough space to slot in everybody. Because if you had enough space, you would put Godspeed Platina in all of your builds. There's no reason why you wouldn't. She has stackable physical res down, and she can break. So just in case if you need to break, you always have that in your back pocket. Like, it is insane, chat. It is insane. How good this Mono Light team is. I just think it's very expensive, especially with, like, what we have now. I mean, damn near every team in this game is expensive, right? But, like, you need crossover characters. Like, a lot of times you need Farron, you need Hiro Saitama, you need Kenshin. Like, GS units, I consider them cheaper alternatives a lot of the times because they're not limited to specific crossover periods. So, because of that, you can kind of get away with, like, skipping on them and then, like, hoping they come back eventually, or just using your ALK summon to get these guys, which is what I recommend you guys always do. Save your ALK for GS units and never spend ALK on crossover characters. For self-sufficient damage dealers in 1 unit. Oh, really? That's what you used to do in BF? I never played Brave Frontier, so I wasn't for sure. But yeah, man, it's actually insane. I mean, like, I think water is another very competitive lineup as well. I think there's a lot of good characters in water. Yeah, 5 units would. Yeah, 5 units would destroy everything. I mean, the game balance is already out the window. But if we want it to be like non-existent, like it was never written down, like game balance was never ever considered in this game, you add another unit slot to the game. It would shake up I wouldn't lie, it would shake up a lot of stuff, but like every boss that we currently have would not be able to handle 5 units to be in the game. All bosses, all pieces of content, every unit is balanced around you having 4 characters on your team. Also, I have 30k now. I think I have enough to buy this stuff. Let me get that one. I don't need the heal. I have so many heal. Like, is it 60? Yeah, 60. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Not gonna say it. Not gonna say it. I'm just gonna act like this is not even a thing, chat. Not even a thing. But you could have 4 on one team. It was crazy. Oh, really? Yeah, that's wild. All right, so that is all of that one, and I'm assuming this shares the same thing, right? Like these guys all are just the popsicle for this exchange. Yeah. I think it is the same. It is. Cool. Oh goodness, excuse me. What does this do? 5-star magic Sakura mask? I don't think it was that good if I didn't farm it. Yeah, kind of whatever. If you're given the chance to work on the GS Global Dev team, would you take up the offer? Hey man, depends on how much they're paying me. I ain't gonna cap. I got a lot of love for the game, but it depends on how much they're paying me. I'm not even expecting something crazy, but like if I had to move to Japan too, like if they were like, yeah, you gotta move to Japan, you gotta like learn Japanese and all sorts of stuff, you know. I would say I would probably take the deal if it was like an $80,000 salary. Like if you gave me like 80k a year, I'd probably do it. But if you didn't give me 80k a year, hell no. Hell no, I'm not doing it. Like if they offered me 50, I would consider it, but I probably would say no. Like you had to meet me at 80. Like the lowest I'd probably go is like 70,000. But no, I'm not a software dev. No, I work in biotech right now. But yeah. The challenge quest? For what? Which one? This one? Thousand. Or this one? Oh, this one. Oh, this guy's using Maset. That's cool. I fuck with the Maset. Let me see. Let me run good old mono light. Let me run good old mono light. Dude, I think YouTube would be my main income at one point, or at some point. Well, it was my main income at one point, but I wanted to take a step back from having to do or using YouTube as my main source of income, because that is kind of stressful at times because YouTube income fluctuates. And not to mention, I have a lot of time during the day. Like whenever I go to make a video, even if I'm working on a video for a while, for the entire week, I have a lot of time. Like if I only did YouTube, which would be cool, you know, it'd be very stress free and I would just be relaxing. It's no matter what anybody tells you, YouTube's not a hard job at all. Like coming up with ideas and editing and all that type of stuff is tedious at times, but it's not hard. It's a very enjoyable and it's a very blessed job to have. Like if you have it, is an absolute blessing, especially if you're able to make any kind of money from it to be able to support yourself and your family. But I wanted to take a step away from having YouTube being such a big chunk of my income. It still is a pretty good chunk, but like now it's to the point to where like if I have a bad month on YouTube, it's not like, oh crap, like I'm screwed or something, right? Like, and it was never like that before because I've always been pretty financially literate. You know, I may not be able to speak English completely as well as someone else, even though it is my native language. You know what I mean? Like, I am not the best English speaker. It was the worst subject I had in school. My best subject was math and science. But when it comes to finances, oh yeah, dude, I'm there. And pretty much ever since I turned 18, I've kind of always been smart, never got like into debt or did anything like too crazy, or any debt that I did take on was always good debt and never bad. So I never like looked at it as, oh crap, like I need to stress out about this, because I always prepared in advance. Like I'm always preparing like 3-6 months down the line when it comes to my income. But for YouTube and stuff, you know, I was just like, well, I have all this time. I want to go work somewhere else. I want to meet more people. I want to get out. I want to do stuff. And that was one of the main reasons that I stopped doing YouTube as my only thing I did, and I started doing other jobs. And eventually I landed in a biotech job, which is crazy considering I only have a high school degree. Or I said a high school degree. I only have a high school diploma. But yeah, you know, you meet the right people, you talk to the right people, and eventually you end up in a pretty blessed position. So, yeah, you know, my new job is fun. I literally worked last week, and that was like the first time I've ever did like a week there, and it was great. I enjoyed it. But let me do this. I mean, but like you're saying though, Truth, if one day YouTube does become my main income source, like I make just gobs and gobs of money, I would be opposed to it. You know what I mean? But like, I never started YouTube with the idea of me making tons of money. I wanted to do YouTube just because I thought it was cool. From the age of like 10 years old, which is so crazy, dude. I remember the first YouTube video I ever watched. It was White Boy 7th Street playing fucking Black Ops 1. And I was like, I want to do that eventually. I didn't even know you could get paid from it. I just thought it was so cool that you could make a video and have other people watch it, and then people could engage with it and everything else. I was like, dude, there's no way this is like real, like, or this is legal, like this is crazy. But literally, that's what I wanted to do, and you know, as you see now, that's what happened. But it was never my plan for it to become like my main source of income. It was also never my plan for me to get as big as I am. I just, you know, did YouTube for so long that a bunch of people decided to tag along and everything. I just did it for the love of the game, man. Because, you know, like some people, if you watch like other YouTubers or something, they may stress out. Also, this is like a walk in the park. Maybe this nuke at the end is going to be crazy. Maybe that's what I got to watch out for. But, you know, you see like some other YouTubers, they may stress out about like, oh crap, I don't have, or I need to like make this video. I need to push out this video or whatever. Like, I don't really do that a lot of the times. I mean, I used to feel like that I needed to make a video, but nowadays it's like I push out a video if I know it's kind of time gated. So for an example, let's say a should you summon is the perfect case. Like a should you summon is really only good and relevant for the duration of the banner. And specifically, I would say before the banner even comes out, that's when the should you summon is the most relevant. And since I know that's like very time gated content, I'm trying to rush that out and make sure that's out when it needs to be. But apart from that, like every other piece of content, like showcases and stuff, showcases are a bit time gated too, because usually people only care during that first week of the unit being out. After that first week, the hype and the excitement for the unit kind of just drops off a cliff. So being pretty quick with the showcase is another one. But like, I'm not rushing to post a video every day anymore. I used to do that. And also, like, not saying like those videos were bad, but there'd be times where I'd make a video and I'd be like, man, dude, it felt like I was just making the video just to have a video out for the day, even though I didn't really have much to talk about or like anything to really go on. I was just like, let me make a video because I want to. And I feel, or not even I want to, I feel like I need to. I don't really get that feeling anymore. So also, we just absolutely wrecked that freaking, that challenge fight. That was nothing. Be early and catch the, yeah, I mean, a lot of times it is, but there's also like an argument to be made that it doesn't really matter if the video is good and you're connecting with people eventually, and you release the video, that video will take off and do well. But there is a bit of a system to it, you know, a bit of a method to the madness, and definitely being there whenever the iron's hot, you know what I mean, is like the best possible thing you could do. A lot of the time. So that's kind of like the whole reason. That's why I think I'm as big as I am for GS. I was just in the right space, or I was in the right place at the right time, and I just decided to, hey, let me do this. And I wound up becoming the biggest GS YouTuber, you know. And I will say that I don't know if another person would be able to get like as big as me though, depending on how they did their content. Like, one thing that I always see people praise me for whenever I make other videos on other games or even on this is like how I edit my videos, and like they're like no other gacha YouTuber or mobile game YouTuber edits like this, unless you're like in the, I would say the Hoyoverse community or like Weathering Waves and stuff, more of the open world gachas. Their videos are usually pretty edited, but for like most mobile games, people don't edit at all. So I think that's another thing, is that people appreciate that and they like that. And it comes off as a bit, I guess, more authentic and more like you're watching somebody that cares, and it's not just like he's just throwing stuff up just to throw stuff up, or like saying stuff just to say stuff, like kind of thing like that. And yeah, and also, I mean, I like editing. I always wanted to make like cool stuff. So, but chat, unfortunately, I'm going to have to end this here. I actually got to be somewhere in 30 minutes. I thought I was going to be able to keep going for about another hour, but just got notified that I actually got to be there in 30 minutes. So either way, I am going to dip out. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Thank you for all the chatters, all the likes, all the comments, all that type of stuff. Thank you all so much for this stream. Thank you all as well for all the subs. If you haven't subbed yet, please make sure you sub. We are on our way to, what is it? 70K, right? We're at 60K right now, aren't we? Yeah, we're at 61. You know, we're on our way to 70K, getting closer and closer to that 100,000 mark. But either way, thank you all again. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.